Shortly after that conference on December 19, 2022, authorities announced the arrest of multiple CCK members. Anthony Lacey Woodson, also known as Pistol P, was taken into custody for over 5 fatal and non-fatal shootings across West and Southwest Philadelphia. Jalen Mickens, or Skip, was also arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder. Nasir Wells, better known as Jefe, had a warrant issued for his arrest on 1 count of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Tyhead Cooper was arrested and charged with supplying the illegal guns used in the shootings mentioned, along with 1 count of attempted murder. Fabian Crieri, also known as Big 4 Times, who had already been disowned by CCK for snitching allegations, had a warrant put out for his arrest for attempted murder. This all stemmed from an incident on December 29, 2020, when CCK members Sabir Mack, also known as Booka, and Frank Smith, or Thule, were shot and killed while sitting in a car in Southwest Philadelphia. On December 28, 2020, at around 6:30 p.m., Philadelphia police responded to a double shooting on the 1200 block of South 51st Street in the Kings Essing section of Southwest Philadelphia.
People, including a teenager, are in critical condition following a shooting in Philadelphia's Kings Essing section. Happened at around 6:30 this evening here in the 1200 block of South 51st Street. A 16-year-old and a 21-year-old were both rushed to Penn Presbyterian Hospital. No arrests have been made.
When officers arrived on scene, they found 2 males suffering from gunshot wounds. 15-year-old Sabir Mack, or Booka, had been shot in the head and was rushed to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he later died from his injuries days later. The second victim, 21-year-old Frank Smith, or Thule, was shot multiple times throughout his body, including the head. He was also taken to Penn Presbyterian and listed in critical condition. He also died from his wounds. No arrests have been made in connection to the shooting. After his uncle Thule and 15-year-old friend Booka were killed by 524 members, Pistol P launched a violent campaign of revenge across West Philadelphia. He was only 18 at the time. Prosecutors said he used straw purchasers in the suburbs to assemble an arsenal of guns and spent the next 7 months targeting anyone he believed to be affiliated with rival gang 524, even though none of the people he killed had anything to do with the murders of Smith and Mack.
That's what I don't be understanding. If you got anything to do with the gang, yeah, all that's cool, but I didn't do that, bro. Why you don't go find them niggas? I want to put y'all on to some of the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Freecash.com is a website that allows you to literally get paid hundreds of dollars just for playing video games on your phone. All you need is an email and a password. Follow the directions on each of the campaigns and you can earn at least $100. My personal favorite game to play was Sunrise Island, and when I clicked on it, they had a $370 bonus. I got $370 just for playing the video game on my phone. On average, it only takes about 17 minutes for most people to start earning money on freecash.com. So if you need some free, easy, extra money, go to freecash.com, click the QR code right here, or go in the description below and start getting that bag. You did?
The first retaliatory shooting happened just 2 weeks later. Pistol P, Jefe, and 4 Times fired over 60 shots into an Airbnb party on the 3800 block of Parish Street on January 16, 2020. At around 11:30 p.m., police responded to the 3800 block of Parish Street in West Philly.
We are following some developing news coming in right now from West Philadelphia. Police there say someone fired shots at the first and second floors of a home in the 3800 block of Parish Street. Here's what we're learning. About 11:30 last night, officers say at least one person inside that home returned fire. We know that one bullet hit a woman in the arm. She's said to be in stable condition. Police tell us they found at least 20 shell casings across the street from that home. They also discovered 2 guns inside of a car that was parked in front of that house. Police say the shooter or shooters are still out there on the run this morning.
According to investigators, multiple shots were fired into a house where a party was going on. People inside the house fired back.
That's so fucking lame to me, bro. Like, that's one of the things that it's not a lot of other things that make me madder. But like, bro, you blicking into a crib, especially a party, you know it's girls in here. Somebody mama probably in here. It's innocent niggas in here. Like, what you blicking up? Why don't you wait your ass outside the party, wait for whoever you trying to catch to come out, do your business, and leave? Because niggas be really scary. That's the answer, folks. They don't wanna get up close on nobody and do them dirty and see and look them in the eye and you know what I'm saying? So they just gonna blink. They gonna blink from outside the house. They low key praying that they don't hit nobody. You know what I'm saying? But they also don't have whatever. They praying that they don't hit nobody. Well, so they blinking through the house just to say they did something. They gotta have somebody with them, because if nobody's with them, then nobody's there to tell other people that they really put in work. They really like that. So you gotta pay attention to all the little, you know what I'm saying?
Back, leading to a wild shootout. A 34-year-old woman was hit in the arm and taken to the hospital in stable condition. Over 35 shell casings were found at the scene, 20 outside and 15 inside the home.
Damn.
2 guns were also recovered from a Toyota Corolla parked out front, which had been hit with bullets. The target of the shooting had reportedly left the party before the shooting happened, but the shooters were unaware.
Okay, so the
second
person who they
shooting
was
took
targeting
place
wasn't even
nearly
there.
2 months later. March 9th, Thule's birthday, Pistol P returned to the streets. This time, him and Jefe gunned down innocent 15-year-old Antonio Walker Jr., a standout athlete who was simply walking to play basketball, on March 9th, 2021. That evening, around 6:50 p.m., Philadelphia police responded to a shooting on the 5200 block of Pentridge Street in the King's Essing section of Southwest Philly. When officers arrived, they found 15-year-old Antonio Walker suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the chest and
the same day?
arm. He was rushed to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at 7:36 p.m.
Incident happened last night
I ain't
just
gonna
before
lie, y'all acting a fool in Philly, gang.
7 in the city's King's Essing section. A 15-year-old was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Police say the boy was shot once in the chest and once in the left arm.
Damn.
We're getting information that this 15-year-old was walking south on 52nd Street with at least one other juvenile when a car pulled up northbound and the shooter exited the car and then began firing shots at that 15-year-old and the person he was with.
Damn.
Police are trying to figure out
that
if
the
the
same
15-year-old was the intended target or not.
You know what I'm saying?
Detectives
Like,
are
is that
hoping
the same
cameras in the
group,
area
like-
will help catch those involved. This marks the city's 90th homicide in 2021.
Damn.
According to investigators, the shooters were looking for a 524 member, but when they couldn't find one, they shot 15-year-old Antonio Walker instead. Prosecutors said Pistol P laughed as they drove off after shooting Walker.
What? So you was looking, what?
Police-
You go outside looking for your ops. You can't find them, so you just pop some random 15-year-old? Like, what the fuck? What?
It's also linked Pistol P
Like, I'm gonna stop. You the devil, bro. Like, it's not even, it's past being in the streets. You like a real, like, demon. Like, not the cool. I'm not trying to sound cool either, folks. Like, you was a demon, gang. You're going to hell. Do your own work.
Skip to an April 2021 shooting on the 1600 block of South 54th Street, where 2 males were shot and survived. The most brutal act came on July 4th, 2021. Piston P and his crew shot 7 people in 2 hours, ending at 60th and Sansom Streets, where a community barbecue was being held to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Sir Carl Johnson Jr.'s clothing store. They opened fire with weapons fitted with blue lasers, spraying over 100 rounds. On July 4th, 2021, just hours before a mass shooting at a cookout made headlines, Pistol P and Skip allegedly pulled up to the 6000 block of Walton Street and opened fire on 2 males.
They hit the corner.
The victims were struck during the ambush,
Look at the
and the
whole
suspects
thing.
fled the scene before police arrived.
Look at where they blicking at. Everybody's on this side of the street. They blicking from across the street on the other side of the corner. I'm scared because if I really try to run up, they might blick me back, and then everybody gonna know that I'm not bulletproof. Fucking goofies.
Both of the victims survived. Then a couple minutes later, they shot another male who was treated for his injuries.
They ain't even doing nothing. They just blicking, gang. Like,
just 2 hours later. At around 10:30 p.m., Philadelphia police responded
Just
to a
trying to
mass
be
shooting
cool.
near
This
the
shit's
intersection
so
of
weird,
60th
gang.
and Sansom Streets in West Philly, where over 100 shots were fired during a neighborhood cookout. The event was meant to be a celebration, a community barbecue thrown by 23-year-old Sir Carl Johnson Jr., or Sir Casso, the owner of the local clothing brand Premier Bondi, in honor of his store's anniversary. Johnson had invited the community out for a night of food, music, and unity. But as fireworks lit up the sky, gunfire suddenly erupted, sending people scrambling for cover. Witnesses initially thought the rapid pops were part of the festivities, until people started hitting the ground. By the time the smoke cleared, 3 people had been shot. Sirkar Johnson Jr. was killed on the scene.
Damn.
His 21-year-old friend, Salahaldin Mahmoud, was also fatally struck. A 16-year-old girl who attended the cookout was hit, as well as another female.
That's crazy.
But they both survived and was taken to the hospital in stable
Niggas
condition.
think they really playing GTA, bro. Bro, they really think they playing GTA. They don't. It's not like somebody knocking, but it's not all up and nobody's home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, your brain passageways ain't connected right, folks. Yo, it's something wrong with you, folks. You think you playing GTA. You think you just finna pull up, wet the block down, and what? You nigga be slow, gang. Like, just trying
Police
to be
said the
cool.
barrage was so overwhelming they ran out of evidence markers while collecting shell casings. The amount of gunfire, along with the targeting of a peaceful community gathering, shocked even veteran detectives.
But the big story on Action News this noon is the investigation into 2 young men killed during a triple shooting at a holiday cookout in West Philadelphia. A third victim, a 16-year-old girl, remains in the hospital in stable condition. Police say more than 100 shots were fired there at the intersection of 60th and Sansom late last night.
That's crazy,
So many bullets that investigators ran out of evidence markers. Action News reporter Catherine Scott tells of the young man who organized the party and then lost his life.
People thought they were fireworks, but they were gunshots. 3 people were shot last night at a 4th of July barbecue in West Philadelphia.
On 4th of July?
2 of them were pronounced dead. 23-year-old
That's why to this day, I don't go outside on 4th of July. It's going to take me a lot to, like, when I have kids, like, having little fireworks and shit like that. I'm not even probably going to do that. Like, y'all get the little, no, we not playing with explosives. I don't understand that shit. But anyway, because it just give me PTSD. Like, 4th of July, bro, every time I went outside on 4th of July, something happened to me, gang. Some crazy shit happened where either me or one of my friends almost died or did die. Same thing for New Year's Eve. Not going outside on New Year's Eve. Like, I would have to be in Dubai to go out on New Year's Eve type shit. Like, you feel me? Because niggas is tripping out here, folks. Like, it's bad.
Johnson Jr., a son, father, brother, husband, and entrepreneur. Friends stopped by his West Philadelphia store, Premier Bandit, to pay their respects today. He was one of 3 people shot last night at 60th and Sansom.
Damn.
Johnson and his 21-year-old friend did not survive.
Died,
his friend's name has not been released by police.
Like, I'm praying for this father, I'm praying for this mother, I'm praying for this family.
Was it all
This
innocent?
invitation posted on Instagram, inviting the community to an Independence Day barbecue, an anniversary party at Johnson's West Philadelphia store. Family and friends say Johnson never hesitated to help others.
He could have kept that money to himself.
Damn.
But he was giving back to the community. A 23-year-old entrepreneur and a city activist? What else can you ask for?
But around 10:30 last night, the shots started. People at first mistaking them for fireworks before starting to run.
Yeah.
More than 100
That's
shots
sad
were
as
fired.
hell, though, gang.
Police
All
ran out of
innocence,
evidence markers.
2 girls got hit.
Johnson and his friend were both pronounced dead.
Damn.
The 16-year-old girl was shot and is stable. There are surveillance cameras in the area. Police are hoping to find some footage that can help in this case. In West Philadelphia, Catherine Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
Johnson, 23, and Salahaldin Mahmoud, 21, were both killed by stray bullets. 2 women were also wounded. None of the victims were gang affiliated.
Damn.
After the
Talk
July
about
4th
wrong place,
shooting,
wrong time,
Pistol
bro.
P quietly ended his campaign to get back for Booker and Thule, fearing that law enforcement was already closing in.
Right.
Later in 2021, he was arrested with multiple firearms, some of which were later confirmed to be the same guns used in the earlier shootings. But at
This
the
dumbass little boy got the murder weapons under his bed, in the car, in the trunk.
time, he
This
was.
is why I say, folks, you gotta stay outside. You gotta stay in. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta stay low key out here, folks. Cause you don't gotta. It's to the point nowadays. You don't even gotta be into it with them nigga to lose your life. You can lose your life just standing at a barbecue, shorty. Cause these goofies is blicking up crowds. The fuck? You could, like, gang. Like, man, these niggas
Wasn't
crazy.
immediately charged for the shootings themselves. Instead, he was released on bail. That freedom didn't last forever because in December of 2022, Pistol P, Skip, Hefe, 4 times, Tyrheed Cooper, and other were arrested in a
Lock they ass up. And y'all, a lot of y'all in the comments be just as slow as these other stupid ass little boys. Mako, you the police. You gonna call the police. You a lame. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all so stupid. Y'all think not being a street nigga is lame. That's how stupid y'all are. Y'all it's not clicking in y'all. He's grown ass men saying this in the comments, bro. I wouldn't wish police on my worst enemy. I would. The fuck? I wouldn't wish jail on my biggest op. Bro, if you out here slaughtering people, you out here slaughtering innocent people. You ain't even slaughtering your ops. You out here slaughtering innocent people at a fucking barbecue, blicking up crowds, blicking up 15-year-old little boys because you can't find your real ops. Killing people that ain't blicking up Airbnb parties. Like, y'all, yes, I want you to go to jail, bro. And I want you to never get out ever again.
Major indictment that finally brought the weight of those earlier crimes back to the surface. On January 5th, 2024, Jalen Mickens, known on the streets as Skip,
look at his lining. You think he care about his life? Look at that nigga lining, bro.
His role in the 3 separate shootings that took place on July 4th, 2021. A violent spree that left 2 people dead and 5 others wounded. As part of his plea deal, Skip cooperated with authorities, attempting to shift the bulk of the blame onto Pistol P in hopes of reducing his own sentence.
And he snitched. What did I tell y'all? I told you, you're not about to go catch 99 bodies with your homies and you think none of them finna snitch on you, bro. You might as well take your ass in there and snitch first, folks. Because somebody's snitching on you, gang. I promise you. I promise you. Every single fucking time, is somebody gonna snitch on your monkey ass. I promise you. Every time.
But despite his cooperation, the court wasn't lenient.
Hell no, you out here slaughtering people, bro. And you got the nerve to snitch. You think, they'll let me out in 5-10 years if I just snitch. Sir, you slow as a box of chicken, folks. Slow as a box of rocks, gang.
Was handed a heavy sentence, 22 and a half to 50 years in state prison.
Yep.
Before the sentence was finalized, Skip, dressed in a red prison jumpsuit, turned slightly in his seat to face both his family and the grieving families of his victims. His voice quiet, he offered a brief apology. "I'm sorry to the families that's here," he said. "I can't go back and change everything that happened that day."
You stupid,
But for the families, especially the mother of Salahuddin Mahmoud, it wasn't enough. Mahmoud's mother stared him down and made it clear that no amount of remorse would ever undo what had been done.
Telling you.
"You'll always be remembered as a murderer," she said. "You took my son from me."
For no reason.
On March 12th, 2025.
It's not like y'all is stepping on y'all ops. Y'all are blicking up crowds. You on the lowest of the low, bro. Lock they ass up, put them in a cell, and don't never let them out. Get them some food to eat and some motherfucking a place to use the bathroom, gang. I don't think they should be able to play back. Like, y'all tweaking. Y'all the worst of the worst. For y'all ain't no different than a Jeffrey Dahmer or something. For y'all just unalive the innocent people, random people for no reason. You a weirdo, bro.
Illegal guns used in the 4th of July shooting that left 2 people dead and 2 others wounded, another 4th of July shooting that left 1 teen injured, and the January 16th, 2021 shooting that left a woman wounded.
So he
is still awaiting sentencing.
He got caught with a gun for the 4th of July barbecue shooting and another one. And another one from another day.
March 21st of 2025, Nasir Wells, or Hefe, took his case to trial and pleaded not guilty to his role in the March 15th shooting that killed Antonio Walker and the January 16th, 2021 shooting that left a 34-year-old woman shot in the arm. In the end, he was found guilty of first-degree murder and attempted murder and sentenced to life in prison for the
life. For the Greg, get that nigga life.
2
Don't
shootings.
let him out.
He maintains his innocence.
Don't let
On
him
June
out.
3rd, 2024, Pistol P pleaded guilty to every that I mentioned in this video. On April 30th, 2025, Pistol P was sentenced to 45 to 90 years in prison for 4 counts of murder and 7 counts of attempted murder. In the courtroom, Harry Miller, Pistol P's...
Hey, come out. Hold on, I got a phone call to take. It's a wifey. What's up, wifey? I'm recording. Don't say nothing crazy.
Huh?
I said I'm recording. Don't say nothing crazy.
Oh, okay. What do you want on the chicken sandwich?
Some mayo and some pickles and some lettuce.
You don't want no ketchup? Or just mayo, pickles, lettuce?
Yeah, just mayo, pickles, lettuce.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mwah. Is it ready?
Yeah, it's about to be in like 2 minutes.
So you want me to come downstairs right now?
You can come down in 2 minutes.
All right, bet. Slap.
Okay.
Thank you. Mwah.
Bye.
Uncle said that his nephew was raised in a loving home but struggled in the absence of his father, who was incarcerated for most of his life. His nephew's troubles started after the family moved to Southwest Philly, he said. As the new kid on the block, Pistol P was relentlessly bullied, beaten up on the playground, and chased home from school.
Well, then y'all
he got tired of running and started to fight back.
So
and
then that led to him shooting up crowds. If again, y'all not saying that he's blicking his ops down. Y'all not saying he catching his ops. The same people that shooting at him, he catching them and he blicking at it. He coming out on top. Because if you look at if I see something like that, that's a soldier. That's not a he might have done bad things, but he's not necessarily a bad person. He's just a soldier. He's protecting himself, and he's at a war. It's a war. It's fucked up, but it's a war. So some people trying to unalive you, you unalive them. Okay, you go to jail for it. I understand that. When you start blicking up crowds and Airbnbs and innocent 15-year-old little boys because you can't find your op and then you unalive him and then you laugh running back to the car. When you get on shit like that, folks, like, no, you don't get no remorse, gang. That's now you on some weirdo shit.
When Thule was killed, Pistol P began to mentally destruct.
Crazy, man.
Sometimes it appears when you have no hope, no help, there's no excuse ever, but you take matters into your own hands, he said. Near the end of the hearing, Pistol P, dressed in a white button-down, tried to explain himself and apologize. Everything he did was a mistake. He was not raised this way, he said. And after losing 6 friends in 1 year to shootings, he was filled with pain. If I could go back in time and change everything, I would. I regret everything. I was young. I was in pain.
I would have hit that, boy. He said, how many? 8? I got 10, 15 homies is dead. Every one of the homies I had in high school that I was outside in the streets with, gone. One of them in jail. So I ain't never blicked up no crowds and did all that, folks. So
his voice cracked and faded. He dropped his head down to his chest and shook his head. The judge appeared unmoved and quickly handed down the decades-long sentence.
Yeah, nobody care about that.
Pistol P said he would appeal. This is a really sad case for everyone involved. So many lives thrown away over nothing. Stupidity that could have been avoided. If you enjoyed this video...
Stupid. Now you want somebody to feel sorry for you. No, be the gangster that you wanted to be, bro. Now is the time. Now is the time to turn your gangster up. Don't turn it down. Don't turn it down. Turn it up. Go crazy. Turn it up. Give me life, then. I don't care. I'm a gangster. Go crazy. Turn it up. Why you crying now? Why your head down now? Why was it a mistake now? I thought you was a savage. Because you ain't going to tell me that you unalived them people and you went home and cried about it. You probably did. But when you was around your homies, you ain't cry. When you was around your homies, like, yeah, we got them, man. Hey, look, he fell on the floor. I'm dead. Another, roll him up. Y'all, you was going crazy. You was going loco. Now you locked up and you think you want to cry a little bit or something? No. Count your years. Count the bricks on the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We don't want to hear no sympathy. Now, if somebody come to your block and they blicking you down and you catch a body right there and you go to jail, I don't think you should go to jail. If somebody trying to unalive you every day for 3 months and you see him at the mall by himself and he ain't paying you no attention, you got your gun on you and you might go to jail, but I understand that. I ain't gonna pass too much judgment on you. I understand that, shorty. But if somebody blicking at you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on Saturday you go to the barbecue and blick up the whole crowd and unalive innocent people, I'm not gonna feel bad, cool? Sorry.